Thank you guys for tuning in to Not Very Radio. My name is Kyle and I look like I'm ready for a winter storm. Which, if you know, you know. Today I'm doing something different. I wanted to have an outlet for music that I'm not necessarily reacting to but have listened to over the past week or so. So I decided to kind of do this weekly music roundup review, whatever you want to call it, where I can just kind of go over tracks or albums that I heard that maybe I didn't get the chance to do a full reaction to, but kind of give my thoughts and opinions. Very much just kind of like ripping off Anthony Fantano's like weekly track review, except I'm not just doing singles and I'm not going to be like worst to best. I'm just going to like run through them. But in spirit of ripping off Anthony Fantano, I have decided to stand up in this video, because he stands in his videos and I am standing in my video now. I can jump, I can talk over here or here, I am everywhere. So without further ado, let's get started. The one album I wanted to talk about today is the A$AP Rocky album, Don't Be Dumb. I was actually going to do a reaction to this and I got 2 songs in and said, yeah, I just don't know if this is going to be for me, and I don't want to sit here just going shrugging my shoulders at it and that be the whole reaction. That's what you guys have to watch. If I don't find it entertaining, I don't think you guys are going to find me not being entertaining. But nonetheless, I went through and listened to the whole thing on my own and I was actually a lot more impressed. I don't think the first 2 songs does the whole album justice. I do want to put a disclaimer that like I don't think the trap subgenre of rap is necessarily a big thing that impresses me. So I think this, in terms of, at least from what I've heard from trap, is quite impressive in my opinion. There's a lot of really great songs on there. Just because the first 2 aren't doing it for you, I definitely would tell you to kind of keep pushing forward, keep trying to listen, or at least dig through, find a couple songs that you like. I really appreciated a lot of the little skits and stuff for in between, where he talks about how he's like, I'm not a player and this and that, and you know, I think they give him a lot more personality and really allow me to appreciate him more as like a person, other than just like, oh, he's the guy spitting bars, you know, like he makes me laugh, so I like him, you know. 2 songs I would shout out were STFU, I thought was like a really raging banger with Slay Squad on it. And then, of course, the GOAT, Robbery featuring Doechii. That song is fantastic. I love the like jazzy piano it's got going. Doechii absolutely kills it, to no one's surprise. The Mitski song, Where's My Phone? So if I'm being honest, I mostly know her stuff from her last album that was much more like folksy and country than, you know, anything else. I'm not really sure what a lot of her older music sounds like. I never had the time to go back and check. But this one is a lot more rockin'. It's got the same like reverby kind of sound on her voice, but this one's just much more rockin', a little bit more noisy, gritty, and I really liked it. I was really impressed by it. And I do think it's going to be a case of, once I hear it in terms of the rest of the album, I have a good feeling I'm going to be liking it even more, depending on how the rest of the songs sound. Next up, I'm going to go a couple weeks back to Violet Pony releasing Arceus. It definitely goes more on the electronic side as well. I did think it sounded really pretty, but I don't think it went quite anywhere that I was kind of hoping it would go. It felt very still. I think if there's another, I don't know if she's releasing another album, and granted, again, 2 albums in 2 years in a row, and especially with Monarch I mean, both probably took a ton of work. But I'm not sure if she's got it in her to release a third album 3 years in a row, then sure. Yeah, I don't think this song, so I just completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, I thought the song sounded pretty. I don't think it quite had enough movement, enough stuff going on to really keep me hooked. But if it's part of a larger album or body of work of some kind, I can imagine it kind of hitting harder being surrounded by other tracks. And I'm also now just seeing that she released another song last week, Creature Man, January 15th. This is going horribly. So I've not heard the new song. Maybe I'll do another video next week where I talk about it. Up next, we have Thoroughbreds by Poison the Well. I'm reading off my phone. I'm trying not to like make it obvious. It's obvious. I was actually really impressed by this. Seemed kind of very hardcore inspired, a little metal. I actually never heard of them before either. Actually, they kind of got recommended on my Apple Music account, and that's probably because of the future podcast video that's coming up where we covered August Burns Red, because my friend Paul recommended them, and I think Apple Music's like, hey, you've been listening to more metal, try this. This is a new song by a band. Apparently they've been around since 1990 something, and I actually quite enjoyed this track. Again, I'm not a huge metal hardcore guy. Maybe it's because with this one I felt was a bit more in the hardcore lane and super heavy metal kind of stuff, but I thought it was really good. I might actually have to go back and check out some more of their previous work, if I have the time. If not, I'm really excited for this new album that's coming out. Next, we have Somersault by Death Crash. So this was a band that actually I heard back in 2022 when they released Return, and I really liked that album. I thought it was really great. I thought it was like some really nice kind of like indie rock, maybe a bit of slowcore, wasn't too upbeat or anything. But I'm really enjoying this new single that they put out. It feels really good. I love the guitar work on it. The vocals sound great as well. So I'm looking to see how they kind of move their sound forward and how this album rolls out. So up next, we have Spelling releasing Destiny Rise with Wise Blood. Oh, I've been walking around the house like all yesterday just doing that over just Destiny. Yeah, anyway, I love this reworking of this song. There's another one as well, Portrait of My Heart, featuring Brendan Yates. I haven't kind of dove as deep into this one, but I really enjoy the Destiny Arrives, and I'm curious if this is going to be another maybe like rework album that she does where she reworks a lot of her songs and maybe it has some features on them. She did something like that in 2023, but I don't think she brought any features on. So I think it'd be really interesting if she kind of did a whole nother song reworking, brought a bunch of features on, did some really cool, unique stuff with some of these songs. Up next, we have Dead End by Snail Mail with a new album on the way as well. I personally loved her Valentine album in 2021, 2022, one of those. And I gotta be honest, I'm not sure if I'm feeling this new single. It's got more of a country kind of twist to it a little bit, like a country rock kind of vibe. And I'm not sure if it's just the fact that maybe her vocals are a little too cleaned up for me or what it is. Maybe once I get the whole album in my hands and can kind of listen to the whole thing, it'll fit better in that pocket. But I just didn't feel as if this song was too inspired. And with the ends, there was some like na-na-nas that just felt a little half-baked. But again, I really liked her last album, so I'm hoping this is maybe just a bit of a dud and we get something really special following this. I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. And again, it was still a pretty decent track. Just wasn't as in love with it as I would have hoped. We finally got new Lightning Bolt with the single Cloud Core. Along with this, they announced a split album along with OOIOO. I am stoked. I have been waiting for a new Lightning Bolt album since they released their last album, Sonic Citadel, which I absolutely loved. I actually saw Lightning Bolt last year in September, October, or something like that, and I had a great time seeing them. So I'm absolutely stoked that we're finally getting new Lightning Bolt. It's been way too long. If you're into any noise rock, they come in pumping. I love what the bass is doing. It feels a little refresh. It feels a little new while still being classic Lightning Bolt. Next, we have I Could Get Used to This by Jessie Ware. Again, this is one I'm not sure if we're getting a new album off of, but a Jessie Ware single I will always take. It hasn't impressed me as much as some of the stuff off her last album, which was one of my favorites of 2020, whatever year that came out. Don't remember, 2023, I think. But again, Jessie Ware never misses. It's still a really solid single, and I'm hoping this leads to an upcoming album where maybe, again, the rest of the album can build along the sonic direction that this one's going. So, that's the sentence I said. We have the underscore song Do It remixed by Yves, Yves. Apologies, I'm not sure. Yves. I digress. bars. Obviously, I love underscores and everything that she's been putting out recently. However, I will say, as much as I loved this remix, I'm hoping if there is an album or a larger project coming out, these songs have been out for a couple months now, and I don't want them to take up too much room on this new album if we are getting something new. I have that problem, going on a tangent, I have that problem that I feel like a lot of artists do from time to time, where they'll release a single or two, and then like a year later they'll release a third single, announce the album, and like the two that they released a year ago are on that album, and I'm like, that's like, I'm anticipating the album now, but we're 3 singles in, and then you're probably going to release one more single, and then I'm basically hearing half the album. It's a big pet peeve of mine. As much as I love the Jurski and Fendrix album, that was a big kind of disappointment for me when I found out that Jurski and Fendrix Freestyle and what was the other one that was released a little earlier, SK1, were also on the album. I was like, oh, those are just kind of singles to get you excited and be like, hey, I'm releasing music. And then when he did Beth's Farm and announced the album, I was like, all right, cool, here's kind of like the album rollout now. And then I found out that those songs were on the album, and I was like, oh, so I've heard 3 already. Gotcha. It's not an album ruiner, it just kind of kills some of the anticipation for me, in my opinion. Really great remix. I'm excited to see if she releases more music, if there will be more remixes like this along the way, but an excellent collab. And lastly, I am so excited to talk about this. So excited to talk about this. New Arctic Monkeys song, and I am not the biggest Arctic Monkeys fan, but it was a pretty solid song nonetheless. Kyle, why are you so excited to talk about the Arctic Monkeys song if you're not that big of an Arctic Monkeys fan, even though you still think it was a pretty solid track nonetheless? I will tell you why. I'm having so much fun standing up. So this Arctic Monkeys song, again, really solid. There was some really great like vocal harmonies that I really liked in this song before I get into the whole project. So I think I've always been a little hit or miss on them, and I think this is definitely one of their hits for sure. But ultimately, this is part of a collaborative album called Help 2 by War Child Records, which is, I guess, a company organization that's trying to, I guess, raise funds to help children who have been affected by war and tragedy of the such. Anyway, this project has a ton of collaborators that I absolutely adore, and I'm super excited about this, and it's for a great cause. So let me read off the list. We have songs, again, the Arctic Monkey song, which was really great. Some of these are covers, by the way, and some of them are originals. I'm not sure which are which. I haven't done too much research into the track listing. I'm just excited for the artist. Anyway, so yep, we have those. We have Black Country New Road, huge fan of mine. I'm a huge fan of theirs. They don't know I exist. Guys, they're putting Black Country New Road and Olivia Rodrigo on the same record. I understand why you were so excited about that Arctic Monkey song now. That seems like a really cool project, and I should probably go buy it to help support a good cause and also hear really good music. Yes, you should. That is my little weekly music review. Quick spitfire, shout out some singles, some albums that I heard that if you guys have not heard of, you guys can go check out for yourselves. Also just kind of get you guys a taste of what I hear on a daily basis and what I listen to. Booyaka! That is all I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for humoring me while I do this. And let me know if you heard any of these tracks, anything that you're excited about, anything that I missed that came out this past week or so. I'm going to either try to do this weekly or bi-weekly. If I have trouble, maybe it'll go to monthly. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. Don't hit the thumbs down. Bad. Hit the thumbs up. No. Yes. No. No. Yes. What am I doing? Love you, mean it. See you. Bye.